everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so, and you're going to be receiving a lot of amazing content. Well, today what are we talking about? Today we are going to be talking about step-by-step application process to the United States for you to either study your undergrad degree or your graduate degree. And let's get started. First thing first, I'm going to be going through some basics with you, some basics about the US semesters, the timing of application, understanding the exams, understanding the course, then we will go into the real process. Are you excited? I am so excited to be doing this video. I've had a lot of questions. A lot of people have come to me asking me, please, can you do a video on the step-by-step process for US admission? And I'm so excited to be doing this. So let's get started. The first thing first, let's understand the US semesters. There are 4 major semesters in the United States for most universities. It might differ from one university to the other, but for most universities, there are 4 major semesters. We have the summer semester, the spring semester, the fall semester, and the winter semester. A semester generally starts around August, September of every single year. The semester always kicks off with the fall semester. The fall semester typically starts around August for most schools, and after that we now have the winter semester. Winter semester most times is just for people to do catch-up classes, and the winter semester is very short, most times from December to January. Then we also have the spring semester. The spring semester typically starts in January, and then we have the summer semester, which typically starts in May. So those are the 4 main semesters. The 2 major semesters out of those 4 are the fall and the spring semester. Those are the 2 semesters that a lot of schools admit students into their university. And out of those 2, the major semester is the fall semester. Some schools don't give spring admission for certain courses. Some schools don't even give spring admission at all. So the fall semester, which is the beginning of the fiscal year, is actually the semester a lot of you should be targeting when you want to apply to schools in the United States. Next thing, let us understand the timing of applications. Applications should be at least 6 months before a semester starts. That is when most schools have their application deadline. So for instance, I'm recording this video on Valentine's Day. Sorry, I'm not putting on right, but on Valentine's Day, which is February. So if you're looking at starting school in August, your application should be complete by now. So if you want to start school, come to the United States to school August 2022, your application should be done by now, because this is 6 months before August. So this is not a good time to start applying for the fall semester of 2022. If you want to, I would say 9 months is better than 6 months. I would say 9 months is the optimal time you should apply for schools. Like for instance, if you want to start fall 2022, your applications should have been done in December 2021. Why? When you apply early, you kind of get much more consideration for funding and for admission. That is because a lot of people have not put in their application, so we call those early bird application. Try to always make sure that you're one of those early birds to give yourself optimal chance of both securing an admission and also securing funding for your education. Next, let's understand the exams. There are, for undergrad and graduate students, there are different exams you're supposed to write. For the undergrad, there used to be 3 exams: SAT 1, SAT 2, TOEFL or IELTS, mostly TOEFL in the United States. The SAT exam is just an entrance exam used by most colleges and universities to make admission decisions for undergrads. SAT 2, which used to be called SAT subject tests, it's just basically used by most Ivy League universities to make admission decisions. As of June 2021, SAT 2 is no longer valid. It's no longer a valid exam offered in anywhere internationally. So SAT 2 is done. I wrote SAT 2, but now no, you don't have to write it, which is a good thing. Next, TOEFL. It sounds for Test of English as a Foreign Language. It is basically a way for you to be able to show that you have a good grasp of English. The TOEFL exam is basically divided into 4: writing, speaking, listening, and reading. You have to pass those 4 sessions to be able to get a good TOEFL score. And that's for undergrad. So for undergrad right now, the 2 major exams you have to write as of today is your SAT and your TOEFL exam. For graduate students, the exams you need to write are, first of all, TOEFL. TOEFL is both for undergrad and graduate students. You also have to put in your TOEFL test of English as a foreign language. You have to write that exam. But you also have to write either the GRE or the GMAT. The GRE is basically a standardized test for admission requirements to most graduate schools in the United States and Canada. But the GMAT is majorly for business candidates. So GMAT means Graduate Management Admission Tests. And it's a standardized exam that you have to write for admissions to MBA programs in the United States. And so those are the exams you have to write for. As an undergrad, you have to write your SAT and your TOEFL. And as a graduate student, you have to write either GRE or GMAT, based on if you're applying to for regular courses or if you're applying for management courses. And you also have to write TOEFL. Next thing, let's understand the cost of admission. SAT costs, I'll be saying this costs mostly in US dollars. SAT costs around $68. GRE costs around $205 US. TOEFL costs around $195 US. Your application fees, which varies from school to school, is one of the costs you need to consider for application. And you also need to consider whether your school is telling you to evaluate your transcript. Transcript evaluation also cost. It also has a cost depending on which institution you're using for your transcript evaluation. You would need to check the transcript evaluation website. Okay, now let's go into the admission process. So now that you've had the background of the basics of admission, let's talk about the process. First thing first, choose your semester. If I want to come to the United States, shooting this video today, February 2022, I would typically add 9 months to today's month, and I'll choose the next semester after that. And when I mean next semester, the next either fall or spring semester. So February, adding 9 months, or it will give me about the 11th month of the year, which is November. So most likely I should be applying for spring 2023 semester. So add 9 months to the month when you want to get started, then you should be applying for that semester. Next thing, choose your course wisely. Why did I say choose your course wisely? It's okay for you to come to school in the United States, but where you get stuck is when you don't choose your course wisely. From me to you, because I was an international student, I would like to tell you that you should not choose courses where you have to struggle with United States citizens to get the same type of jobs. You should do your research, look and interview people who have done those courses before you. Were they able to easily get jobs easily? Were they able to navigate the job market? Choose your course wisely. Next thing I would like to tell you, write your exams as quickly as possible. Focus on your exams. Make sure you do very well on your exams. Your exams could be the deal breaker on whether you would get good funding or not. So right now, like I said, write either your SAT or GRE along with your TOEFL. A lot of schools now are waiving those exams. Some schools will tell you don't need to write GRE, you don't need to write SAT. I would advise you to write those exams. Why? Number one, you could be stopped at the visa interview if you don't write those exams. My visa interview question was on my SAT, and it was just a math question based on my SAT score. And I've seen instances of people getting admission with funding, but just because they didn't have one exam, they're stopped at the visa interview. So I would like to advise everyone, write your exams. And another reason why you should write your exam is for competitive funding. They need to be able to know that you put in every single thing that is needed for you to be able to get funded. So definitely write your exams. Next thing, choose your schools. Go through all the videos I'm putting on different scholarships and funding from different schools and choose your own school. Choose the school that would most likely fund you, because I know you might be an international student and the cost of funding, the cost of schooling would be a lot. A lot of schools, the cost of funding is nothing less than $20,000 per year. So you want to be able to get a very good admission package that would either reduce your cost of funding, or you get a good admission package that would even give you everything you need to school. Then next thing, put in your applications. One thing I want to talk about when choosing your school, one clue I want to give to you, and you can thank me later, is a lot of schools that have states in the name of the school typically have more funding than regular federal schools. For instance, if you say University of this state, maybe University of Texas versus Oklahoma State University, right? Oklahoma State University might have more funding than University of any state. Why? Because state funding is different from federal funding. So definitely it's just a clue I used to use when looking for schools. Definitely there might be funding in federal schools, but they might not be readily available like state schools. So look more into state schools. Next thing, put in your application for the schools. Go to the school. When you've chosen your school, go to their website, look at the application requirement, and put in your applications for those schools. Next thing, a lot of schools require you to write a statement of purpose. Please put in your best. This could be the deal breaker between if they would give you that funding or give another person that funding. Make sure you write your statement of purpose with purpose. So don't just rush through it. Make sure you write it very well. Next thing, letter of recommendation. A lot of schools require you to submit letter of recommendations from either your past lecturers, your past employers, your past teachers. Make sure you're getting good recommendations from those people, because those recommendations go a long way to determine whether you get the admission or stroke funding. Submit your proof of English. It's a requirement in most schools. Submit that. Some schools would require you to evaluate your transcript. Make sure you start that process as early as possible. Send it to the transcript evaluation service that the school is requiring you to use. And make sure that your application is submitted by the application deadline, by the early bird application deadline. So add 9 months and submit your application by the next semester after the 9 months. I tell people, don't rush through this. You might rush through it, you might get that admission, but it might come with no funding, and you have to struggle through your way in the United States. It is not a wise decision. Take your time and do things properly. Then after you get your admissions, possibly to multiple schools, I would say at least put in your application to 4 or 5 schools. After you've gotten your admission stroke rejections, you choose your best package. And then you have to now show proof of your finances that you can support yourself while in the United States. Get your I-20 document, which is your legal document to stay in the United States. Then apply for your F1 visa. Then you get started with schooling in the United States. So that is the long that is a long process summarized into possibly a 15 to 20 minutes video. My advice from me to you to be successful: first of all, deal with the time sensitive items quickly. Immediately you make up your mind that you want to apply to schools in the United States, first thing first, register for your exams, choose a date and write your exams. Second thing, one of the time sensitive thing is your transcript. Depending on the school where you schooled, reach out to your school to get the transcript, send it to the evaluation services, and let them get started as soon as possible. I always try to tell people that I mentor, please put in your application as soon as possible. Even if you don't have all the documents ready, then work through the documents. Some key advices I would like to give you. I've said it during my video, I'll say it again. Choose your course wisely. Look at the courses that typically employ a lot of international students, and if possible, move into those type of fields. Next thing, apply to at least 4 to 5 schools for best funding and also for best admission packages. Next thing, make sure you're writing your statement of purpose with purpose. Don't rush through your statement of purpose. Make sure you have a very strong statement of purpose. That was what I used when I was applying to Carnegie Mellon University. My statement of purpose was so strong, and that was why they considered me for a lot of scholarships. So make sure you put a lot of time into your statement of purpose. And while you're doing all this, make sure you're also getting your finances ready. Your proof of finances, make sure you're getting that document ready so that immediately you get the admission, you can show your proof of finances and start your visa processing. I wish you the best. Schooling in the United States is a life changer. It's a game changer. And always put God in perspective. See, except the Lord build a house, we all labor in vain. God is the one that can make it possible for you. So put God in perspective as you apply to these schools. And I know that you would come out successfully. Well, thank you, and please like and subscribe to my video, and I'll continue sharing amazing content with you. Please look out for schools that I'll be sharing that give scholarship for various type of courses or SAT based scholarships. Look out for my videos on those, and let's keep the ball rolling. Thanks again, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.